beyond recognition, but his will to be free never changed. This prison break film hits harder than Shawshank because it really happened. Henri was framed after crossing a mob boss and sentenced to life. From that moment on, he decided he had to escape, his only shot at freedom. They sent him to French Guiana in South America, where escape meant buying a boat. The guy with glasses was in for forging bonds, and everyone knew he was a millionaire, so they were all after him. Henri warned him, "Men here will gut you for that money. I can protect you." But he thought it was just a shakedown. Henri was a thief, and with guards all over the ship who dared try anything. By night, he knew better. The inmate beside him was murdered and robbed in plain sight. The guards just looked the other way. Terrified, the man with glasses stayed awake all night. By morning, he hired Henri as his bodyguard until they reached shore. The deal: he bankrolled Henri's escape. It paid off fast. 2 men came for him that very night. Henri had seen it coming. He'd been paid to handle trouble, so he dealt with them first. For that, the guards strung him up for a full day. Possible. The island was crawling with bounty hunters, paid well for every runaway they brought back. One prisoner tried to swim for it, and the guards shot him in the head without a word. This prison was infamous. 40% of men didn't survive the first year. None of them were meant to see France again. The warden's first move was to crush any thought of escape. The place was surrounded by ocean, with violent surf on every side. Even if you somehow dodged the guards' bullets, the sharks would finish you off. Get caught escaping once, and it was 2 years in solitary. The second time meant 5 years, then a transfer to hopeless Devil's Island. Kill or injure anyone, and you'd be executed on the spot. The next day, one prisoner was beheaded in public. The warden wanted to make an example of him, so the rest would behave. Every day, they worked more than 10 hours of back-breaking labor. At any moment, they could end up as crocodile food, and men dropping dead from exhaustion was nothing unusual. Prisoners were often sent out to catch these blue-winged butterflies. They were used to make dye for dollar bills, and once sold to merchants, the gods made a fortune. Henri saw his chance. He offered a merchant 5,000 to get him off the island, and the man agreed. His boat would be ready anytime that week. Meanwhile, the man with glasses was put on corpse duty, and the sight made him vomit.
The guard didn't hesitate. He beat him brutally. Henri stepped in to plead for him and took a punch himself. When the guard pulled a knife, Henri threw hot water in his face, then dove into the river and escaped the gunfire.
Henri found the butterfly merchant, thinking he was about to sail away, but the man had sold him out. No matter how much Henri paid, the warden would pay double for any escaped prisoner brought back. That rotten merchant took money from both sides, and Henri was sentenced to 2 years in solitary. In that tiny cell, it was worse than any beating. It broke both the body and the mind. No talking, no noise, and every day just thin soup and water. Then one day, he found a coconut in his bucket, with a note that said, "My spirit is with you." Henri knew the man with glasses had paid to get it to him. He hadn't tasted anything that good in ages. It gave him strength again, and he trained every day, knowing only a strong body had any chance of escaping. But it didn't last. One day he reached for the coconut and found the crab inside. It snapped at him and made him scream. The coconuts had been discovered. The warden demanded to know who sent them, but Henri refused to betray his friend. Furious, the warden cut his rations in half, sure he would soon talk. Then they covered the only light in the ceiling, leaving him in darkness, unable to tell day from night. Hunger and loneliness tortured him every day. Bugs almost became his only food, and after so long without nutrition, even his teeth began to fall out. This time, he almost gave up the name, but in the end, he swallowed it back. At last, he survived the 2 years. By then, his body was completely wrecked. After just a few steps, he collapsed. The man with glasses had become the warden's secretary and arranged for someone to bring meat broth. Henri devoured it like it was the finest meal on earth. The man with glasses was stunned. Henri had nearly starved rather than betray him, and after 2 years of watery soup, he was still alive. Even 2 years of torment hadn't shaken Henri's will to escape. Soon, another chance came. The man with glasses said the prison would hold a concert in a few days, and the guards would be distracted. Henri wanted him to come too, but he refused. His wife was spending money to pull strings, and he believed he would be released soon. Henri told him not to put too much faith in the woman's promises, but he trusted his wife and wouldn't take the risk. Through the prison doctor, Henri arranged a boat. Once they got outside, someone would be waiting. The concert began as planned. Henri brought helpers and together they knocked out a guard. The man with glasses distracted the watchman, giving Henri his opening. If they could get over the wall, they were out. Suddenly, a guard spotted them and raised his gun at Henri. The man with glasses grabbed a stool and smashed it into him. Now, whether he liked it or not, he was escaping too. When he jumped from the wall, he twisted his ankle, so the other two had to help him run. They met their contact, paid the money, and realized they'd been cheated. The boat was a wreck. Just then, a tattooed man appeared. He was the real contact. The man who sold them the boat was working with bounty hunters, planning to drag them back to prison. The real contact had already killed the 2 hunters lying in wait. Otherwise, they'd have been sent straight back. With the boat in hand, the 3 men set off toward freedom. But a storm hit on the way and they stopped at an island to recover. Bad luck struck again. The moment they came ashore, they ran into a prison patrol. Their cover blown, they ran. The young man was shot, and Henri fled into the jungle. The guards brought in 2 local trackers, men known for hunting people through the forest. Henri didn't get far before they caught up. Before he could react, arrows struck him. At the last second, he jumped into the river and got away. When Henri woke up, he was in a village. The local people had saved him. Life there was peaceful, but it wasn't where he belonged. When he left, they even gave him a bag of pearls for the road. Halfway along, prison guards stopped the vehicle for inspection. If they questioned him, Henri's identity would be exposed. So he used the pearls to bribe a nun because her vehicle wouldn't be searched. Sure enough, they passed the checkpoint smoothly. Henri admitted to the nun that he was a fugitive, but said he had been framed and asked her to keep the pearls safe. The very next day, she betrayed him. She must have wanted the pearls for herself. Honestly, she was worse than a bandit. This time, Henri got 5 years in solitary. When he came out, torture had turned his hair completely white. The warden was shocked. Almost no one survived 5 years in that hole. What kept him going? His hunger for freedom. Solitary could change his face, but not his resolve. Henri was sent to Devil's Island, a hopeless, isolated rock. There were no guards there because no one had ever left alive. Cliffs surrounded the island, and the crashing waves could smash a man against the rocks. Many prisoners went mad there. Henri found the man with glasses again. His betrayal had enraged the warden, and after they caught him, he was sent straight to Devil's Island. By now, the edges had been worn off him. He had long since accepted this life. But 7 years in solitary still hadn't broken Henri. This place could imprison his body, not his soul. He refused to spend the rest of his life there. Every day, Henri studied the rhythm of the waves. One day, he ran a test, filling a sack with coconut shells and throwing it into the sea. The result crushed him. The waves slammed the sack into the rocks, and all the coconuts spilled out. But Henri wouldn't give up. He stood on the cliff all day, watching. Then he excitedly told the man with glasses he had finally figured out the tide. If he jumped on the 7th wave, it would carry him out to sea. Just before they acted, the man with glasses suddenly